Hello, I am Rachel Sansom. I am Director for Teacher Training and Development here at Barton Peveril College and also a psychology teacher. I wanted to share with you some of the work we've been doing at Barton Peveril to try and really prepare students for their exams and make sure they are doing the best possible revision they can. I know it can be quite overwhelming knowing how to support them, bar just saying, do as much revision as possible. So hopefully this will make you feel better equipped. I have two children and I already feel slightly out of my depth supporting them in their educations, and they are 5 and 7 and I'm a teacher. So I understand that can be difficult, but hopefully this will give you some tips to help them. The first thing I want to say is just how much they need to revise actually is quite important. I say to my students that they should be treating this more like a 9 to 5 job until their exams if they're in the second year. So over Easter, sort of doing 9 to 5 with breaks in it and with lunch, and then they can relax in the evenings and do what they want. But I do think it's really important. They've got a lot of contents to cover and they really need to be prepared. So the first one is retrieval practice. I would say this is one of the most important and one of my favourites. This means that they should not just be reading through their notes. They actually should be testing themselves on their content. This is the best way for them to revise. This means that it will go into their long-term memories more quickly, and also they will be able to identify those areas that they actually know and the areas that they do not know and need to develop more. Research says that this is much better than highlighting and rereading notes, and it also says that it reduces their nerves because actually they feel better prepared. So you might think, what does this look like? And there is many different ways of doing retrieval practice, but this is a few. So the first one is quizzes. There is lots online that they can use to go over the content, or they can make their own flashcards. So if they go through all of the content they need to learn, they write a question on one side and an answer on the other. They can then go through, and if they get the answer right, they can put that to one side and not have to check it for quite a while. The ones they don't get right, they can go back to more often until it goes into their long-term memories. Also, past paper questions and mark schemes are a really effective way of doing this. The next one is brain dumps, a bit of a funny name, but this is a picture here of a brain dump. What this is they write down everything they know about a given topic. So whatever topic it is, they write down everything that's in their long-term memory. They can then look at their notes and fill in the blanks with a different colour pen. What they'll find is the next time they go to do a brain dump on this topic, they will remember a lot more. Another one possibly is students testing each other as well. So my second one is spacing out revision. So little and often rather than cramming it all into one go. The reason this is really effective is because research shows that if they forget the information a little bit and then they relearn it, actually it will mean in the long run they will remember it better. So this is really important that they do little and often throughout the day and throughout the next weeks, rather than just really cramming all in one go. A revision timetable really helps with this to make sure they are covering all of the content. So mixing up topics, interleaving is what we call this. What that means is instead of sort of spending a whole day looking at one topic and another day looking at the other, mixing it up throughout their revision. So what they will be doing is instead of just looking at one topic all the time, by retrieving information from lots of different topics throughout a day, they will be better able to do this in their exams, and therefore their brains will become better at retrieving information. Now, this is just some ideas of how to help them so that they can use retrieval practice and spacing for their revision. So if they can go through all of the content from the specification and put it down in a revision timetable so that they're making sure they're going back to the topics regularly, this can really help them to know where they're going with their revision. Or having a revision grid, this is one from psychology that we give them, that they can go through and tick off each time they do retrieval practice on this, and even highlight the bits that they've got right and they're quite confident on, so they don't have to go back to it as often. So having the right environment to revise, having somewhere quiet and dedicated is really important. If this can't be at home, then at college we have the library, which is a fantastic space for this. Also, reducing distractions. I would always say leave their phones away from where they are, because this is really easily distracting, and social media to not have that as an option if that's possible. So planning in breaks and downtime. I would say that time is set to revise, and they revise really in a very focused way, and then they have breaks, they have downtime, and they make sure that they're really building in things to make sure that they are positive, and they're healthy, and they're doing well. Also knowing which topics they're going to revise in advance. I think this is really important, because often students will always go to the topics they like, which are often not the ones that they really need to revise more. So knowing what they do, and it will also reduce time when they get to it. And always having their materials ready to do this if possible. So number 5 is a bit of a cheat, because there's a few different strategies in here, but this is just a few other ideas. So research suggests that if you have images and words with your notes or your quizzes, that it actually helps your long-term memory. So suggesting to your students that they sort of draw a little picture next to their revision cards would be really helpful. Reading out loud is better than reading in your head. Thinking more deeply about information and making connections can be really useful to make it go into the long-term memory better. And teaching someone else. So maybe you could become an expert in all of their A-levels, because by teaching you, they'll know what they do and don't know. So in summary, there is retrieval practice is a really effective way. So testing themselves rather than just reading their notes. Space out, so little and often. Mix up the content, so they're not just doing one topic in a big chunk. Create a positive environment for revision. And this is not actually the one I did, but I couldn't put all of those little tips here. So plan out revision in advance. Thank you very much. I hope you found this helpful, and good luck in the next few weeks. Thank you very much.